nostalgic piece of my coming up. It's just I wish I would have had it. Well, this gentleman purchased it for me and sent it to me. I'm so thankful. I haven't watched it yet, but I bought everything. Okay, I bought every single thing out there and every book that was supposedly hot and teaching this and teaching that. And as soon as I read a chapter and I thought I saw something in there, I was like, I'm going in there. I'm going to do it today. I would turn my Metastock program on, pull up the chart, and I'd go in there and I'd start putting orders in. And then I would fail because I'm interested in getting what? Instant gratification. And unfortunately, social media has adopted this mindset where that's a normal thing and you should pursue that. No. In investing and trading, there's such a high degree of risk. And this is the reason why I teach the way I teach, that you shouldn't be in here trying to double your account or having astronomical monthly returns or weekly returns or daily returns or 200 to 1. I never preach that. You can do very, very well with 1 to 1, 2 to 1, and 3 to 1. But I personally try to teach my students, aim for 5 to 1. Will they always get it? No. Will I always get it? No. So to build that mindset or expectation into students is foolish as a mentor, and I never do that. So I talk about how you're going to lose all the time. You're going to lose money. You learn with me, you're going to lose money. You're going to make money if you do the right things, but that right thing has to be a unique experience for you. You may not like that fair value gap. You may not be able to see it because you see all kinds of gaps and you think, okay, well, ICT mentioned a breakaway gap, a measuring gap, an exhaustion gap, and a common gap. Which fair value gap is that one? Well, that comes with experience and knowing what these price swings look like from all higher time frame down to lower time frame. It goes back to the very painful reality that it's you. When I lose money, it's my fault. When you lose money, it's your fault. When I make money, it's my victory. When you make money, it's your victory. It's not a high five moment for, thanks ICT, psh, high five. I didn't do that for you. You took the risk on when you took the live trade. That's why I tell you, you will determine when you want to transition from a demo account or paper trading into live account trading. I never, ever tell any of my students to do that. It's a personal moment where you know where it's going to happen, but you need to defer that. And the problem with this right now, give me a quick, study approach where I get it. Everybody wants to start making, everybody wants to live a fast life. But let me tell you something. I've made so much more money teaching than I did trading. I can tell you honestly, that's what 99.999999999% of everybody on social media, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, all of them made majority of, if not all of their money from teaching. And I'm honest. I'm telling you that's the reality of it all. But I'm also the same guy that said, but I don't need to do that. I'm done. I showed you I can walk away from it, so you can trust me as a mentor. I'm not trying to fleece you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you do well. But you have to listen to the boring stuff. You have to get through those monotonous rants where it feels like, get to the point. The point is, you're going to endure moments where it's going to feel like it doesn't work. Or you're going to have questions about, why doesn't this concept work in this instance? If you realize what I'm talking about when I'm doing these discussions, I'm fortifying you mentally to be able to endure that, because that's where everybody quits. Those moments, that's where everybody loves it. They're walking around with perpetual erections, in the male category of my students when they're making money. They're walking around, and I'm gonna tell you something. When they do the right things with ICT concept, that is Viagra. Okay, guaranteed girlfriends and wives are satisfied. Okay, they're getting everything they hoped for the weekend or that evening. But when they don't listen to sound logic, okay, it's dysfunction. It's dysfunction, and it takes the wind out of your sails completely. And for those of you that are male, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You could be going to the gym working out. You could be fit as a fiddle. You could be having the right duds. You can be dressed out and macked out with all the nice whips and cars, and you're doing well. But when you lose and you know you did it to yourself, it sucks. You don't want to be looked at by anybody else. You don't want to be judged by anybody else. You don't even want to talk about charting. You don't even talk about trading. You want to ignore it. Well, those moments, unless you rein that in properly, that will lead into a tailspin, because you're going to want to fix that bad feeling, that toxic feeling of, a small little segment of failure. That's not the end of your career. But if you have not been properly mentored and spoken to with mindset, how do you wrestle with the struggles of doing this? Because it's one thing to talk about, this is what works in this instance in the marketplace. But what happens when you do it wrong, understandably in the beginning, because you're learning, you're getting an experience. Every time you sit down and you study the market, if you're using that 2022 mentorship model, you have a specific expectation in the marketplace. And every transaction and time invested, you're getting experience from it. It may not be a positive one where you come out where, oh, I would have made money if I would have did this. If you go into this initially expecting that as a constant or majority of the results, you're going to be discouraged. Why? Doesn't this stuff work, Michael? Yes, it does. But it works well in the hands of an apt pupil. Someone that's been doing all the things, taking notes, studying, using all the supportive lessons beyond the first 5 or so videos in that mentorship series. I saw a young man tweet to me the other day. He said, yeah, I watched the first couple of videos and I figured it out from that point on. I'm doing great. I don't like those comments, and I'm not going to high five that, because you don't know what you're doing. And I have no problem telling you that. And it's my content. You don't know what you're doing. Okay. If I thought it was just the first few videos that were necessary, that's all I would have done. But you need supportive understanding and things that you're going to encounter. When does a fair value gap likely fail? When do you classify it as something other than a trade entry or target? These are all going to be problems for you when you start pushing a button, whether it be demo, paper trading, or foolishly entering into live trading too soon. You want to go in with your mission statement read every single time before you watch a video. So that way you're reminding yourself, okay, I can talk about a lot of things, and you will be able to filter out the things where I'm talking about other people, because I got to get it off my chest, and reminding everyone that this is really where you're supposed to be finding it from, not watered down versions of it. But then you'll go into harvesting and pulling out the things that the meat. You'll get to what it is, the point. Everybody's saying get to the point. The point is you're getting the stuff that makes you better as a trader, because I've already taught you how to trade. I've taught everybody how to do that. But how do you become a consistently profitable trader? Well, excuse me. You get that by listening to someone that's endured lots of losing, and the things that I did to stem that and keep it at bay, and also in many ways understand the pitfalls that lead to that. And that stuff, when you're young as a developing student, and this is for the females too, not just the males, I'm not beating up on you guys only. This culture that we have today, it is, give it to me right now. And if you can't give it to me right now, I'm unsubscribing. Good, unsubscribe. Because the way I teach, I do it in such a way where I'm filtering people out. And that pisses people off. And I want them to lose their mind initially, because if you're going to lose your mind about me and how I teach, because I know how this is learned. I know how it's taught properly, but I also know there's going to be problem personalities that are going to be problem traders. And the problem traders are going to be the ones that complain and say, oh, you're a fraud. Oh, your shit doesn't work. Oh, you never do this. And oh, you never do that. But 2022, I came out with all the receipts. And now people all around the world are doing it too. So there's no way, absolutely fucking no way anybody can stand anywhere. And I'm ready for it. I'll trade in fucking court. Okay, I will do it. I will bring my fucking shit and I will show everybody. Everybody in there will be fucking watching my YouTube channel. The judge will be fucking subscribed to fucking YouTube. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. But there are people that are not mentally prepared to suffer in their own hands. And that's what you're going to do as a trader. And nobody says it like that, but that's exactly what it is. You put yourself, I put myself, we all put ourselves in situations where it absolutely is painful. and loss will be the result. There is not ever been a trader that has ever gone out there and done it 100%. I lose. Okay, I get it wrong sometimes. Okay, bottom line is it doesn't kill me to the point where I'm going to give up or toss out the concept. You know, that model, that 2022 model, it can look like it's really in the chart, and your analysis line up like, hey man, I'm going to do this trade, and you put the trade on, whether it's paper, demo, or live, and it will fail sometimes. It didn't fail. You did. When I do it wrong, I do it wrong, and I record it that way in my journal. You need to record it in your journal that way too. If you do that, number one, it teaches and fortifies personal responsibility. And when you're basically inputting that in your journal every single time you do it, you're going to have also increments where you'll have it done right. And that's the key. That's the superpower juice, if you want to call it, that keeps you going. Because I could tell you anything in these rants and these discussions that you might find encouraging. You might find that that little nudge that you need to keep going. No problem. But even me talking to you and encouraging you won't take away every bit of it. It just distracts you from what you were thinking and feeling. And when you stop listening to these things, you'll remember that you did major damage to yourself. You overtraded. You did more trades than you should have. You listened to somebody else on social media that influenced you, and you wrecked your ass. That's painful. It sucks. And this is the reason why I say, don't go and try to keep up a equity curve on social media. Equity curves on social media is toxic. You're trying to keep up with everybody else, and 99% of these fuckers are out here are fake. They're pretend. They can't, they're running reports making $100,000 in hypothetical results, but they ain't fucking doing it. So I want to see that in 2023. I want to see all that real shit. Not I'm running, market replay shit. If it can be done, you'll do it in real money, and I'm waiting for it. But you have to have an approach to doing this with a sober mindset, and coming in, starting right away with the model of 2022. It gives you the nuts and bolts. This is what it looks like. This is what a model looks like. This is what trading looks like. This is how you go in. You decipher what market bias will look like. Where do you place your stop loss? How do you take partials? When do you stop? When do you trade in the day? Do you sit down and trade all day long, 24 hours a day? Fuck no, you don't do that. Nobody should be doing that as a new student. Nobody. And any fucking asshole going out there saying that they should do that, they're fucking clowns. There's advantages to trading the times I've told you. Period. Now, but ICT, you traded outside. Yes, I do that to thumb my nose at everybody that says I have only certain times of the day where I trade, and I can do that. I do everything. Anything I want, I can step in there and do it. But because I can do it doesn't mean it's an invitation for you to try to replicate what I do, because you don't have the experience, you don't have the tools, you don't have all the resources I have that allow me to do those types of things. But I've given you a specific model that allows you to have a foundation that puts you right in the charts, and that's where you should begin. Now, what should you do if you've gone through the 2022 mentorship and you're consistently finding setups, not 100% accurate, but you're consistently finding setups, and you're consistent in your paper trading? The question is going to be, how will you know when to go into live trading? You'll know that when you know it. Nobody will convince you otherwise. That's how you know. I never tell any of my students, go and start trading live. That never happens. Never happened. I've never had a paid member talk to me in an email or in the forum, and never, ever have I ever done publicly said, go into live trading. No. If they've said, I'm going into live trading, I immediately go in with, go slow, don't trade a lot, and keep your risk ultra light. It's all public. Because I know what happens, and they're going to find out too, and just like you will if you ever go from paper and demo to live trading, some little magical experience takes place where suddenly doubt, fear, trepidation goes off the charts. You abandon everything you learned and you become more interested in protecting your first trade. So it's actually better for you just to flip a fucking coin, buy or sell based on heads or tails. Okay, just get that shit out of the way. The first trade, you're all going to worry about whether if it's a winning trade or a losing trade. Just put it in the hands of risk. Put the risk in the hands of chance. Put it the smallest amount of leverage you could possibly have on the trade. And if you think you want to take a trade and you're worried about whether or not you're going to be right or wrong, just flip a coin. If it's heads, you buy it. If it's tails, you sell it. And then whatever happens, you got it out of the way. It's done. It's one transaction. You've lost your virginity in terms of live trading. That fear is gone now. So now just work going forward. I remember my first trade with Fox Investments, where I bought that orange juice option and lost 50% overnight. Very first trade. I was scared shitless. I was like, man, do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? And I just couldn't stand anymore. I was afraid to miss it, and I was afraid to do it. So I just said, fuck it. I'm just doing it. Order in, and it was done. And then next day I woke up, I lost 50% of the amount of money I put into the option. No idea what I was doing. But that relief of having done it and got it out of the way, that fear and trepidation was gone. Even though I lost 50% of the option premium I paid for in my very first trade. Now think about this. Go back to the mission statement I was talking about. When I first sat down to learn how to trade, I was going to be a commodity trader and I was going to trade position trading. But my first trade wasn't based on that. It was based on 3 days using an option. The fuck was I doing that for? I was in a hurry to be doing something. And that's what a lot of you are doing. You watch a couple videos, whether it be mine or someone else's, and you think you saw this before, and you go into the chart and you're looking for something that resembles what you think you've learned in 1 or 2 videos. And then you push a button, and then you're shocked at the results not being what you expected. That's doing it wrong. My children have messed around in paper trading and demo accounts doing the same thing. It's normal. It's normal. You wanted to be able to sit down, watch a video or 2, and then go in there and be able to find something that banks, investment firms, big, huge trading entities are in here running roughshod over everybody with. And you think you're going to watch a couple ICT videos or anybody else's bullshit and walk out there and push a couple buttons and all of a sudden all this starts falling in your hands and you're rich now? Man, I've never taught that. I've never taught that at all. I have been the largest opponent to that shit than anybody else on YouTube. That's what makes me boring, because I'm not out there being that flashy person and telling you, do this, do that. I'm telling you, be fucking boring. Be boring, get 25 pips a week. 25 pips a week. If you can do that, you can make a lot of money if you're consistent. You can make that whatever you want it to be, but you can still lose your ass aiming for that 25 pips a week. If you are not diligent, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're reckless, if you're a gambler at heart, you'll do that.